Okay, so your citric acid cycle occurs now in your mitochondria. So it is also known as your tricarboxylic acid. Tri meaning tatlo, carboxylic acid as we will see later, or Krebs cycle also because the discoverer for this cycle is Hans Krebs. So this is a recycling process, parang yung kanina nating nakita na merong byproducts na magagamit pa ulit sa susunod na turn ng reaction, okay? So yung anong yon, molecule na yan, pwede pang magamit sa susunod na reaction sa susunod generation. Okay? So your pyruvate, again, from the glycolysis from glucose, naging pyruvate, naging acetyl-CoA. So, itong acetyl-CoA ay papasok na din sa citric acid cycle. Let's see kung anong yan. At it will yield 3 NADH, 1 FADH2, and 1 ATP. Okay, so naka-italize yung ATP, meron siyang special. So your FNADH, alam natin yan na si nicotinamine adenine dinucleotide. While your FADH would be si flavin adenine dinucleotide. So this is another electron carrier, guys. Okay, so huwag kayong mabahala, they are just there. Okay? So, ito yung ngayon, yung citric acid in detail. So, magsisimula again from your acetyl-CoA. So, your acetyl-CoA will combine with your oxaloacetate. Okay? Si oxaloacetate is carboxylic acid siya or carboxylate, okay? Na may dalawa silang carboxylic acid yan. So, sa dalawang yon. So, pag pumasok pa ulit si acetyl-CoA at nag-combine sila, ay ito na, si citrate na yan o si citric acid. So, dahil yan ay, ilan ng COO dyan? COO, tatlo. Kaya tricarboxylic acid, citric acid. Okay, citric acid cycle. So, the reaction goes on, hindi ko na ibibigay in detail. So, yan, cis-aconitate, and then, ayan, so isocitrate, so your isocitrate is again a down to your alpha ketoglutarate is a redox reaction because it involves this electron carrier, your NADH, okay, and then your alpha ketoglutarate redox or oxidized to succinyl-CoA, so may CoA na, so nag-yield din tayo dito ng CO2, okay, and then ito yung succinyl-CoA naging succinate. So ito ngayon, dito nangyayari yung sinasabi ko kanina na naka-italize yung ATP kasi actually GTP yung na-yield dito. Right? But this GTP will generate 1 ATP. So ano kaya sir pinagkaiba ng GTP at si ATP? So si GTP po ay si guanine triphosphate. Parang si ATP di ba si adenosine triphosphate. Si GTP is guanine triphosphate. Makikita natin kung ano ang pinagkaiba ng adenine at guanine later on, okay? Sa ating module on nucleic acids, guys, okay? So but then yun nga, yung GTP will yield 1 ATP. So 1:1 lang yon. So in turn, parang ATP din yung na-produce. But really, it's GTP. Then your succinate will be again reduced, okay? Or magre-redox reaction yan at involved yun naman ngayon ay itong si FAD to FADH2. Okay? So another redox, another electron carrier bukod sa NADH. Okay? So your fumarate magiging malate, okay? So your malate ay pagka ikaw ay hindi maaga, ikaw ay malate. Charot. Okay. So your malate at ngayon, babalik na ngayon to oxaloacetate. That's why it's recycling, this is a cycle. May recycling na nangyari, may na-regenerate si oxaloacetate. Okay? So your this is another redox reaction because it involves this, your NADH. So per glucose molecule, you have yielded 2 ATP, 2 FADH2, at 6 NADH. So 1, 2, 3. Dahil ito ay galing lang sa isang acetyl-CoA, na galing sa isang pyruvate. Of course, pyruvate ay galing sa glycolysis, sa glucose, right? So glucose, okay, di ba't dalawa lagi ang na-yield na pyruvate? Di dalawang acetyl-CoA. So dalawang citric acid din ang nangyayari, okay, or nangyayari sa isang per glucose molecule. That's why times 2 lahat lagi yan. Per mole of glucose, okay? So may mathematics. So now we are done with your citric acid cycle at makikita natin that you have yielded ATP here from your glycolysis and your citric acid cycle. So ang tawag ngayon doon ay substrate level phosphorylation. Kasi ang reaction doon is from ADP to ATP, di ba? So it's a phosphorylation reaction, okay? Nagdadagdag ka ng phosphate bond. So from DP to TP, diphosphate to triphosphate, right? So these are just substrate level phosphorylation. Tapos nagpo-produce din tayo dito ng NADH, nakakuha tayo ng NADH, review na dalawang NADH galing sa glycolysis, isa sa oxidation of your pyruvate, right? And then, dito sa naka-yield din tayo ng NADH at FADH2 naman for your citric acid cycle. Alright? So, ang next step would be the oxidative phosphorylation. So far, we have 2 ATP yun nga from the glycolysis at dalawang ATP from citric acid cycle. So, for one glucose molecule yon. So, kakaunti lang yan guys. So, saan galing yung most of the ATP? It will come from this last step, your oxidative phosphorylation. So, your oxidative phosphorylation naman guys, from the word itself, oxidative. Okay, so i-oxidize niya ngayon yung na-yield nating NADH tsaka FADH2 from your glycolysis and citric acid cycle and your oxidation of pyruvate. Okay, so may gamit pa rin pala yun. Okay, so yan, ito yung oxidized form again ng NADH, NAD+, and then the oxidized form of FADH2 is FAD. Right? So this is an oxidation reaction because it loses an electron. Okay? So, this oxidative phosphorylation naman occurs in the inner membrane of mitochondria. So, di ba yan yung mitochondria mo? Isang parang cell yan. Okay? So, meron pa yung mga tiklop-tiklop na ganyan. So, yung membrane na yon, doon nangyayari naman itong oxidative phosphorylation. So, this involves several protein complexes and causes the pumping and accumulation of H+ in the inner membrane space. So, bakit? So dahil itong ang oxidative phosphorylation ay isang oxidation process of your NADH and FADH2, so yan, ang nai-yield ay diyon, yung oxidized form, and your proton, your H+. Okay? So yan, ito yan ang nangyayari. E di, yung produkto mong NADH+ ay mapupunta dun sa intermembrane space. Okay, so mag-a-accumulate ngayon dyan. So ito yung sinasabi kong protein complexes, protein complex 1, 2, 3, and 4, plus your ATPase. So discuss natin yan later on. But then, dito mangyayari yung redox or yung oxidation reaction ng inyong NADH down to NAD+, and FADH2 to FAD. Right? So, this yields, again, your protons. So, maraming proton ngayon dyan. Okay? So, kaya ngayon yung dumami yung proton dun sa intermembrane space, okay? It creates a proton gradient. So, sir, ano ba yung proton gradient? So, your proton gradient, ito, tingnan nyo itong image na to na kulay green. Gradient yan. Dahil, merong region na makapal ang pagka-green, meron din namang region na mababa ang pagka-green or parang halos walang green. So, ganun din. Pag may proton gradient, meron kang area or region na mataas ang concentration ng H+, at meron ka din dito sa kabila, okay, na mababa. So, that gradient, okay, so kasi malaki ngayon yung difference nila. So, meron tayong tinatawag na chemi-osmotic theory. Okay? Kung saan, gustong mabalanse. Okay, itong difference in their gradient, okay? So yung gradient ng yung osmosis na yon, so kailangan mo balanse, edi dapat may pumasok dun sa loob, okay? Or bumaba. Okay, so yung pagbaba na yon, so chemiosmosis yon or your proton motive force. Kasi proton yan, okay? And then motive force because this rotor or this ATPase or your ATP synthase, okay? Para yung motor guys. So ang aandar na ngayon yan. So magpro-propel yan, 'di ba? Very amazing. Di nyo nare-realize na sa loob pala ng inyong mga mitochondria ay may ganyan-ganyan ding mga motor-motor na nangyayari. Okay? So your H+, yun nga dahil yan ay may pupunta yan dito at gusto maging balanse na yung proton sa labas at sa loob or sa taas at sa baba. Okay? So, yun, ang mangyayari ngayon, mag-iikot-ikot yan. At yung ATP synthase na yun, yung energy na ngayon na nagagawa doon, parang naging battery ay si H+, di ba? So, it will produce now your ATP. So, this is the phosphorylation part. So, your ADP will form ATP with phosphate group and an inorganic phosphate. So ATPase or ATP synthase with water as your another project. Okay? So yun. So dahil nga may bumaba, edi may umandar at meron na yield na ATP. So sa bawat NADH, okay, nakaka-yield tayo ng 3 ATP while sa FADH2 sa isang FADH2 merong 2 ATP na mapoproduce. So makikita nyo, that's why is it called oxidative phosphorylation kasi your NADH is oxidized or your FADH2 is oxidized while your ADP is phosphorylated to ATP. Okay? Malinaw yon? So all in all, we have yielded about 26 to 28 ATP from your oxidative phosphorylation with pabago-bago yan, depende sa, yun nga sa pangailangan at depende rin sa organism. Kaya 30 to 32 ATP ang naproproduce na ATP per glucose molecule. Para sa isang lang, ano lang yan paano kung kumain ka ng 1 gramo, 1 gram of glucose. That's glucose, guys. We are not talking about starch. Alright, so talagang maraming na yield na ATP at this ATP will be used now because this is a highly energetic bond as we have learned from your thermodynamics na it drives other biochemical reactions and becomes exergonic reactions. Okay? So, malinaw po yun. So, and that's it. So, you may watch this video na 3D. So you will have a more clear at ma-imagine nyo in a 3D way yung pinag-iimi kong glycolysis, Krebs cycle, the electron transport chain, and then the oxidative phosphorylation. So this is 3D, so you can click the link or you can scan the QR code. So next video, we will have your anaerobic respiration.